Hello, this is Pupunup, and I finally watched Luke Cage. This is the third Netflix Marvel Universe TV series that came out for on Netflix. First one was Daredevil, which I really enjoyed, and Jessica Jones, which I felt that I enjoyed even more. So I was super excited for Luke Cage. Um, let's just start the review. Basically, like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage focuses a lot on the characters rather than just like Luke Cage and his ability to beat up people and being bulletproof at the same time. Um, so I found myself invested in a couple of characters, especially, but I felt the characters were both the strong and the weak points of the show. So certain characters were really good, certain characters were really not so good. And I really enjoyed Luke Cage in Jessica Jones. Thought he was great in that. I wasn't too sure if he was able to carry a show on his own. I had mixed feelings about it because I thought he was a character that, he's like super strong, he's bulletproof, nothing can harm him. So I wasn't sure if I would be invested in a show that he'll be the lead in. But because he's invulnerable and you can't hurt the guy, the show uses emotional pain, emotional torment to basically weaken him and to make him look or make us feel more invested in him. And I thought that basically worked the entire show. So the show uses emotional pain, and that was great. I really liked that angle that they used. But I felt the surrounding characters were even better than Luke Cage. So the show is totally made up by the characters. It's a lot of the surrounding characters gave a lot of depth, and I really like how the show focused a lot on the other characters because there were quite a few characters, and each of them needed enough screen time, and I thought all of them got enough screen time, which I really like that. So the first one will be Misty Knight. She is the detective. She's the female detective, and just trying to clean up Harlem. She's also the one that is trying to piece the puzzle. Like, why are there so many dead bodies? Is Luke Cage really the bad guy? Is he the good guy? And you will see this evolution that she start to realize that Luke Cage is actually the good guy and is trying to help. So I really enjoyed Misty Knight's character. Next one was Shades, played by Theo Rossi. He was too over the top for me. He was talking a lot in pauses and in a very deep voice. It looks very trying to act cool, but you're not so cool, dude, kind of way. He didn't do it for me. So I wasn't a big fan. He had his strong points, but I wasn't a big fan of that character, Shades. The next two characters are really my favorites. The first one is Mariah Dillard. She is the sister to basically the evil gangster Cottonmouth. We'll talk about Cottonmouth later. But Mariah Dillard is a very deep character. She has a lot of things going on, and you also will see another evolution. It's probably the biggest evolution in the entire show. And there were a couple of things that happened with that character as well that was very surprising. I did not expect it at all. So because when you watch a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows, after a while you sort of knew where it was going, right? You sort of knew what's gonna happen. But Mariah Dillard's character had, especially one in the midway point in season 1, something happened and took me by surprise. Like, I did not expect that happening at all, and I love that. And my favorite character is Cottonmouth. He is basically a bad guy. He's a bad dude. He's a gangster in Harlem. He's the biggest gangster in Harlem. Very, very good acting. Very good acting. And he is one of those villains that felt he was doing something good when he was doing all this bad shit. He was like the ends justify the mean types, and the actor Mahershala Ali played him very well. It's almost like the character was written for him. He just delivered. He was definitely the best part of Luke Cage, hands down. My favorite part of Luke Cage is Cottonmouth. I love him. So the show also has a message weaved in between, basically telling youths, don't do bad shit, don't join gangs, don't do crime. I appreciated it. It's a very good message, obviously, but I felt that some of it was a bit forced. Like, I felt it was being forced on me, and I didn't really like that. But I appreciate it. At least it was a good message. Of all the shows, of all the 3 shows, Luke Cage has the best music because it's mostly jazz with some hip hop, and it's great because I do love jazz, and the music is so good because the Cottonmouth owns Harlem Paradise, which is basically a club, and a lot of the bands or the performances playing in the clubs were really, really, really good. It's like very old school and modern stuff. So I really love the jazz. So a couple of problems. The narrative was a little inconsistent. Sometimes the pacing was just right, and sometimes there was just too much fluff. They were just trying to fill in the time with things that I did not care about. The theme was also kind of inconsistent. There was a lot of back and forth because it does follow mostly the dark themes that was established in Daredevil and Jessica Jones, but it also moves over to the over-the-top stuff, and I just felt that was kind of inconsistent. I get it. Luke Cage, is like the 1970s stuff, and it's like really over the top, really ridiculous stuff. It's like fun. It's the 70s, afros and drugs and shit. But it made it not have an it made it have an inconsistent theme, right? And near the end, well, not near the end, at around the midway point, they introduced a new character, and that character was so freaking annoying. So annoying. Like, he was okay half the time. The other half of the time, he was talking in like Bible verses and using a lot of proverbs. It was really freaking getting on my nerves. And they also introduced a suit for this character, which was really lame and really ridiculous. I just really hated the character. I'm not gonna say who, obviously. I will consider it a spoiler, but yeah, there's just an inconsistent theme to it, and the narrative as well. But and the writing can be kinda super cheesy. While it works in a way, if you consider the roots, like I said earlier, the 1970s stuff, it was just a little bit too much for me. But overall, I did like it. I did not enjoy it as much as Daredevil or Jessica Jones. I think out of the 3, Luke Cage right now is the weakest one. It started off way better. It started off really good. Around the midway point, and with every episode, it started to get more and more ridiculous, I feel. And eventually I had a bit of a problem. I had trouble wanting to finish the season. So I don't know if I'm just tired. I don't think so, because I really like these characters. But I don't know, I just had trouble trying to finish it. But of course, if you liked Daredevil, if you liked Jessica Jones, you have to watch this, because it's a huge epic thing. 4 different characters which will later join up as the Defenders and stuff like that. So if you're invested already, you should watch it. But don't start with this one. Go and watch the others before you watch this one. Go and watch Daredevil season 1, season 2, and Jessica Jones. Overall, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely above average for sure, but nowhere near Jessica Jones and Daredevil. That's all I can say. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening to my review of Luke Cage. If you enjoyed this video, you can help me by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know what you think about Luke Cage, the Netflix show, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.